Alright, what is going on everybody? Welcome back to another Heroes of Might and Magic Olden era video going over all of the Hive faction heroes today. There are 18 heroes for each faction in this game, which is a crazy amount. But obviously any of this is bound to change, not only from this playtest, but in early access and obviously any updates at all. So please don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know down in the comments who you guys are going to be using as far as these Hive heroes. And obviously check out all of my other Heroes of Might and Magic Olden era content. Let us get started with Naive. Oh, let's see. So creatures in our army deal 10% magic, basic, oh my gosh. Okay, 10% basic attack damage plus 1% for every, additionally they deal 1% range and long reach damage for every 2 hero levels. So shit ton of might damage coming out for Naive here. 10% is a lot to start, and 1% for every 2 levels is still a shit ton that can be added up for sure, and 1% based on long reach and range. Now they don't have they don't have very many long range or reach units. They only have the Nat, which is remote attack, which does count for this, and then one of the upgraded Warums, and that's literally it. So that's not too bad, but that is a shit ton of extra damage coming out for her. And then Hive's starting skill is Summoning Swarm, so it's kind of like gating from Heroes 5 essentially. It's a little bit of the same. You know, you spawn these larvae, they have to hatch, they can be destroyed before they hatch, or you can even do damage to them, and then when they do hatch it's less health for them. But they do start with a starting spell, favorable when the target friendly creature deals plus 50% with ranged or lodged. So that can be a lot of extra damage. That's crazy. I think I'm definitely looking to use her. And then that is her starting army. So it looks like gnats, locusts, and stingers. But then we'll go to Maelstrom. So this is a Reaver hero. So as we've seen, or as you guys I'm sure know, plenty of heroes are creature heroes. You know, they give increased stats to a specific creature. This is one of them. So what is different in Olden era is they give increased creature growth to the city, plus 1 speed, initiative, and 20% HP, and then the normal thing that we're used to, which is increases their attack and defense every 3 levels for that creature. By 1, but then also enemy Reavers lose equal amount of attack and defense. So if you're facing them either on the map or somebody else is using them, that can be definitely useful. But Reavers are a little bit of a higher creature tier. I believe they're 5 if I'm not mistaken. So it can be good a little bit later once you get them and get their points going for sure. But I don't really think that they're the strongest Hive creature. They're okay for sure. Then he starts with basic insight, giving you extra XP. But yeah, Reavers are good against higher tier units. You know, they do more damage to higher tier units. So that's just something to keep in mind. And then we have Nor here. Gain 25% XP plus 5% for every 2 levels. Upon leveling up, gain an additional attribute. So this guy, holy shit, that's going to be a lot of, and he starts with Reavers, it looks like. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of just leveling up. That's going to be a lot of additional things that you start with. So deals damage to enemies, magic tier. But basic battlecraft is something new. You know, when creature raids or defends, they get increased stats. But I feel like that's going to be a lot. I mean, that's just so much extra XP that you're getting from going around, and then additional attributes as well. Zoran self-founded. So Warums, so this is the Warum creature. Starts with 2 Warums actually. I feel like obviously they're going to be strong, but I feel like 2 is going to be scary to deal with. You know, obviously you can get gnats and stuff pretty early though. Starts with some nightshade magics, that's not bad. So again, like we've seen, worms get increased growth, they get extra speed, initiative, and HP, and then attack and defense for every 3 levels, and enemy worms are worse based on all of that. So pretty decent. That's going to be again hard because worms are tier 6, so like the usefulness up until that point I feel like is not going to be super strong, but the worms are going to be pretty good. Curson, Duke of Rage. His heroic strike deals plus 40 damage, plus 5 more for every 3 levels. Additionally reduces the target initiative by 2 until the end of the round. So heroic strikes, like we've seen in the past, are actually going to cost focus points in this game. So it is going to be different. It's going to be, you know, not every single time that you can just, you know, do that or a spell. It's either you can do that or um, a spell, but the spells are free aside from mana. The heroic strikes cost focus points, which you're not always going to have, and only 40 extra is really not super strong. But obviously with him you're gaining levels, so you're going to be doing more, plus it actually will be nice because you're going to lessen that target's initiative when you do that for 2 rounds too. So, oh, I'm sorry, buy 2 for the next round, um, or during that round I should say. So not bad. Um, might be somebody I use, but like, not really. Like possibly. Tavi, Summon Fire Larva stacks has increased health plus more for every 2 levels. So this is just gonna basically, it's like increased, you know, gating. You know, you just get increased health for your larva when they do spawn. So, and 1% for every 2 levels is not bad. You know, it's 4% is small for sure, but 1% for every 2, you're gonna have a lot of increased health by the time, you know, it's ending. Um, so then we got low. So this is for Locust. Again, this is the Locust hero. Starts with basic defense on this one. Locust get increase growth, speed, initiative, HP, and attack and defense. And let's go. So Golden Tongue increases friendly creature's morale by 1, gives plus 2% chance per morale point that friendly creature takes an additional turn. For every 4 levels, this 1% is increased. So lots of morale, lots of possibility to increase, and increases morale based on basic leadership starting as well. But this is going to be the possibility of you being able to take so many turns with your hero, or creatures, I'm sorry. That's a lot of possibility for an extra turn, which can be insanely strong for sure. Abigor, Duke of Battle. In the tactical phase, has +1 hex to the radius, can see the positions of neutral armies. Creatures in his army gain 1 initiative for every 6 hero levels. So that might not be that bad against neutral, just to kind of see what you are facing and where you need to go. And this is essentially like, you know, as you see, basic tactics, so just having that increase, but increased initiative wouldn't be bad. I mean, you're not going to get a shit ton of increased initiative just because it's 1 for every 6 levels, but I mean, a couple extra points by the end of the game is probably going to be pretty decent. The neutral army, again, is nice, but it's like, you know, it's still just a neutral army. I'm not sure it's going to be the most useful in the end. Flu has 10% movement points, plus 5% for every 8 levels. Moves more effectively on roads. I mean, that's really not that strong. I mean, it is basic logistics. Starting spells, speed, initiative to all friendly creatures, and -1 to all enemies. That's not that bad. It's only for 1 round, so it's only for that round that you spawn it, but like, you know, other people are going to be able to get that. And increased movement by 10 is not that crazy. Plus 5% for every 8 levels is not like... I mean, I guess you might have the chance to level up more by finding more things and treasure chests and stuff, because you'll have a little bit more movement with him, but, like, I don't think that's that good. If anything, I would say, you know, maybe every 5 levels or something, but, I mean, I guess that might be a little strong, so, yeah, definitely not gonna be for me. Zur here, immune to negative effects in battles and on the global map. Creatures in his army take 10% less magic damage and extra 2% for every 3 levels. I feel like that's going to be very, very strong. Can't negatively affect him in battle, and his creatures are extra magic resistant and growing extra magic resistance. I think that's going to be super good. Whenever an enemy attacks friendly target in melee, they take magic damage. So I feel like he's going to be pretty good, actually. Just not being able to put negative spells on him is strong in general, and just obviously extra magic resistance on his creatures. So pretty good, I think. I think it's going to be decent. Batham, Duke of Jewels, produces 1 crystals per day. So we have seen this in other factions in this game, to where you just have, so I'm guessing crystals are going to be the Hive factions, like actual special resource. So we do see this in other factions that we've gone over, that somebody produces one and then they produce more per level and they find more. So to me, this is just somebody that's going to be extra good as like a secondary hero or something. Definitely not like a primary, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be worth it to use this person as a primary. Like, yeah, extra resources are nice, but like, you know, wow, can see neutral armies though. That's pretty cool. Malaria, so Hornets, same thing. I'm not going to go over this one. Basic battle magic based on spell power, and then vulnerability, so the target takes plus 20%. So yeah, this is just the Hornet hero. Guru, Hive Queen, geez, that's going to be like, you're not gonna get Hive Queens early, obviously, because it's a tier 7, but to have that all increase, that's gonna be pretty decent, I think. Maybe even as a secondary hero, just to get extra increased Hive Queens, plus if you level them up just a little bit. Well, that would be under his hero, so maybe not, but still, extra growth for them might not be terrible. Starting spells, Sleep. Alright, Mila starts with Masterful Haste. Now, these Masterfuls are so strong in this game for anybody. Masterful Haste, all friendly creatures get haste, and then the spell power is increased by 1 for every 3 levels. So that's pretty fucking crazy. Daylight Magic to start. So yeah, Masterful Haste is going to be very nice. Oryx, Masterful Blink. Okay, what is Blink? Teleports target friendly creatures for up to 3 hexes. And basic summon avatar, so lots of summoning between the swarm, between the avatar. I don't really think Blink is going to be super good. Like a lot of, I guess it can be maybe if you need a little bit of extra like space to and from, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Interesting to say the least. Karseth receives plus 1 level to primal spells, plus 1 for every 10 levels. Can use it in battle without limits. Enemy hero cannot cast prime spells either. Primal spells either. Okay. Become immune to spells of tier 3 or lower. Can't be dispelled. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how strong they get, because we have seen this again in other factions, so please go check those videos out, to where, you know, they have, you know, Nightshade or something, and they're increasing that spell, levels and everything, but then the enemy can't cast those spells, which can be very detrimental depending on who they are. But I wonder if you're facing somebody else that has that, I wonder if they both can't cast primal spells. But maybe there's only one like per faction to where it's like one Nightshade, then you can't cast it. One Primal seems to be for Hive. We'll see. And I think there's probably one Daylight for Temple from what I remember, so we shall see. And then last but not least, Pauper. Creatures have +1 speed and +1 more for every 8 hero levels. So, I mean, useful I guess, nothing crazy. Starts with a fireball. Speed again is nice, but like just +1 and then +1 for every 8 levels, I don't feel like it's going to be super crazy. But that is all of the heroes for the Hive faction here in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments who you guys are going to use, not use, what you guys like and dislike about these heroes and what they do and don't do. And we will see you guys in the next one.